and I'm proud of you, basically. I'm proud of you for clicking on this video because it is health related, and whether you are not wanting to take anything away from this video, I'm still proud of you for clicking on it and learning more, and that's a really great, amazing step for you to do in taking care of yourself or taking care of someone else. So well done. Hello. Oh, you can see her. She's the cutest thing ever. I love her so much. We've just been having the best cuddles, and she's distracted me from filming for about an hour, and now she's gonna go. Right. How are you? Good? I hope you are good, and if you're not good, you will be good very, very soon, okay? I can feel it, I promise you. Good things are coming for you. It might get worse before it gets better, but it will ultimately get better. If it can't get worse, then you know you're on the up. But welcome back to another video. I want to do this thing where like I kind of mimic an intro of a famous YouTuber that I watch, and then you have to try and guess who it is. So if you haven't seen my face before, I'm Jasmine Samantha Chapman. If you want to join the Jasmine family, then hit subscribe. But without further ado, let's get on into the video. Try and guess who that is. But basically, sorry, the biggest opposition I've faced in terms of trying to preach alternative medicine and holistic health and holistic healing is it's not done in modern medicine, and a lot of the time it's like, I'd rather hear it from a doctor. I will listen to my doctor, I won't listen to you. And seeing as y'all love listening to doctors so much, I thought I'd use my connections working in a hospital, and I asked every single doctor I work with. I work in a department of probably, it's like 30 consultants, and then a few more because there's surgeons around, and a lot. I work in theatre, so a lot of people are around me that have this doctor qualification that you love to hear about. So I asked them, every single one of them, about what their biggest health tip is, and basically kind of like how not to die. Okay, and this is just me telling you all of their holistic health things that I didn't even ask them to be alternative medicine related. So the first person I asked said everything in moderation, and she kind of delved more into this and was saying even for your mental health, so you can have that little bit of this, a little bit of that, but don't go too overboard on one thing, because even if it's a happy thing and you're so invested in that happy thing, ultimately you're going to have to come out of that, whether it's a holiday you've gone on to and you have to then return to work. Yeah, so everything in moderation, and that way you get kind of like a balanced life as well, so good for mind and body. This lady also said that to use weights. She said everyone should use weights, and it's a really good way of working out. Obviously, I guess you need to be strong. I've started using weights because I wanted to be able to protect myself, and I agree with her. I feel like everyone should use weights, or even like their own body weight. Like building muscle, I think, is an important thing for people to do, and just being strong, like being able to protect yourself and the people you love, not necessarily for like looks and like buffness and like beautiness, but you get me. Okay, I'm gonna say their names then. Can't do that. Confidentiality, Jasmine. Okay, the next person said cardiovascular exercises, and since I've been working around doctors more, I've really kind of just picked up that like cardiovascular is really, really important, and I've actually started, because I used to just go gym, like just lift just for like aesthetic and strength, I've kind of forgot about like my heart and everything like that. So that's like my priority now when I'm working out, is to like get my heart pumping. One of the doctors gave me advice, said to do cardio properly, you need to have 220 minus your age, and that is what your heart rate should get up to do proper cardio. And running is probably the worst form of cardio to do, because it really kind of takes a lot out of your body, especially your joints, and if you have bad knees you shouldn't run. I love running. Hereditary, I have bad knees, but I love running. It's probably my favourite form of exercise. So something I've noticed is not running on a pavement and running on grass, and it makes more sense for your body because that's how we've evolved as well. So yeah, cardiovascular exercises as well, the top tip from a consultant. Another consultant has said kettlebells, so I guess it is similar, like muscle building, strength, kind of like actively working out, and like pushing yourself in terms of strength and weight. Another consultant has said cardio, so I guess that's kind of the second cardio we've had right now, and like kind of looking after your insides. She said no crazy diets. Obviously they're never sustainable, they're not healthy for you. Normally they're just to lose weight, which doesn't really sort out what's inside, and which you may have an issue inside, things are clogged up. So just no crazy diets basically. And you know crazy diets don't work, because either you lose a ton of weight, don't feel like good, and then you put it back on because you go eating normal again. So just balanced diets and learning what to put in your body. And she said light, regular exercise, even 25 minutes 3 times a week. And I think that is like gospel. When I first started like exercising and working out, I was told, or like researched, that 30 minutes a day is how much you should be moving, and that includes walking, like sitting up, getting out, like walking around your house, or walking to the loo, like 30 minutes including all of that. And like that is good for like your heart and just for everything, like just to get everything moving. So regular light exercise doesn't have to be like proper like bodybuilding workout routine or proper like marathon workout routine. Just keep your body moving, doing something that's like fun for you, light for you, not too harsh on the body. That's another thing, is that asking all these people how do I not die basically was another thing I was asking them, which is a bit morbid, so I didn't reworded it for this video, but a lot of them was like, don't work out so hard. Like that was like the biggest thing that they were saying, which I was really surprised about. They were like, don't exercise too hard. And obviously when you're researching working out, exercise and keeping fit, it's always push yourself, constantly push yourself. But most people who are super healthy that just go like that are the ones that are constantly pushing themselves too hard when exercising. So that was good. And I've definitely noticed that when I go too hard with like weights and stuff, is that I get a migraine. And obviously that's not every single time I go gym I get a migraine. Like that's not, like that didn't make sense to me. So then we're trying to work out a way that suits you. And maybe you do need to work out super hard if you're like a just generally really tall or like a stocky built person. Maybe you do need to work out harder than someone who's naturally doesn't have muscle and things like that. So, kind of tailor it to you. But I don't know, I thought that was just a good thing to share, because that's something I never realised before working with these doctors. Strength and toning and like weights and cardio, that's the main thing so far. Next one is everything in moderation. Again, just like leading a balanced life, good for your mind, good for your body, not overindulging in anything. So that could be like chocolate or like social media. And then no alcohol or tobacco, which is the first person that said that. Interestingly, should I say this now? Okay, yeah. So from working in a hospital, it kind of really opened my eyes up to how people will not change their ways. I see so many health professionals that do things that they see patients suffer for doing, but they won't stop doing themselves. And I always kind of thought that like being vegetarian, if someone saw that an animal had to die in order for them to eat this thing, they would stop it. Like if someone saw the direct result of smoking, they would stop it. But these clinical professionals, they see people being unwell through lifestyle choices, and they have the same lifestyle choices and choose not to act upon them. And I just thought that was such a good like eye-opener to actually like know, just by showing people what will happen, they still won't change what they're doing, even if it's bad. So you need to kind of get people to stop doing bad things by replacing it with something that gives them that same kind of feeling. So that was really interesting. And you'll notice not many people say alcohol and tobacco are bad, even though they know that alcohol and tobacco is bad, but they just don't want to give up. So that's a little expose, interesting thing. Another person, again, moderation for your body, not too many carbs unless you are naturally small and skinny. So I guess carbs make you put on weight and like just pudge you out for little, you get little from it kind of thing. Someone also joked about weed, which afterwards when I started like writing it down, they were like, no, don't write that. But I kind of think they have like another consultant openly says that weed is good for you, apart from the fact that you smoke it, and that the world would be a much more harmonious place if people stopped having alcohol and just had weed. And that I think that, like, I don't drink alcohol or do drugs, but I would much rather be around someone who's high on marijuana than someone who's been drinking alcohol all night. So that's a nice little interesting one. And I don't have anything against weed. It is just the smoking aspect for me, which is why I don't participate in that. But that's interesting. Another person has said less meat, less alcohol, no tobacco. Don't exercise too much because it's bad for your heart. And then this person kind of gave me this whole lecture, which was amazing. I wrote down so many notes, but was saying stress is actually good for your heart. Like, chronic stress is good for your heart. And let me make sure that I'm saying this right. Okay, as it creates more vessels around your heart to be able to deal with stress. So if you have something like a heart condition or something happens to your heart, you're more prepared to deal with that because you've got these vessels around your heart created by the stress to help deal with the stress. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting, and I was like, yes, anxiety's done me a favour for once in my life. And he also recommended to read the book List of Ways Not to Die, which I'm definitely going to get. I'm a hypochondriac to the max. But maybe if you're a hypochondriac too, which if you're watching this you probably are, it might be a good book for you. Okay, another person has a stretch, which is the first person and only person who has said that in this whole thing. And that's really interesting because, yeah, lots of different reasons. This video is already too long already, but yeah, stretching is one of the top health tips and ways not to die. Interesting, I like that. Pescatarian diet, so and no vegetarian duplicates, so corn and things like that, because they are full of crap. And that kind of was just straight to the point and said what needed to be said, so I'm going to move on. Next person, not too many carbs and vegetarian diet, but with whole real foods like organic, no GMO. This person gives me lectures about food and diet and health often, and I love it, and there are so many more things I've learned from this one person. So yeah, I really respect what this person says and take it as gospel. So not too many carbs, vegetarian diet, and whole real food, none of that processed stuff. Next one is only when you are hungry. Protein and fats keep you full, and that's having the right stuff. So only eat when you're hungry, don't overindulge, and eat the right things when you are hungry. So maybe prepare a meal so when you're hungry you can have that, rather than reaching for something that's convenient. Like, I know when I'm hungry, when I get home from work, I'm hungry, but dinner's like not ready, or I haven't started making dinner yet, so I'll grab something, and the only things that are available are normally fruit, which I won't have again because I've had during the day. So then I'll grab a chocolate bar or something like that because it's pre-made, it's ready for me. So maybe making meals or making healthy snacks beforehand and only eating them when you are hungry, so you can just grab them and eat them in a healthy way. Next person has said, listen to the medical advice you are given. I'm not really going to go into much depth because I think from what I've learned at hospital, kind of, if I were to talk about this aspect of it, it would be confidential, and I'm not gonna risk it, not gonna risk that. But basically, listen to the medical advice you are given. If a doctor tells you to not do something because it's going to affect your health badly, then don't do it. Yeah. Basically, listen to the medical advice you're given, but also know that everything is a choice. Like, you don't have to go on certain medications. Some medications I've been on have really kind of affected me negatively, especially like mind medication. I think that's a part of science and medicine that is quite new still, which is what my friend in med school told me. So if you don't want to go on a certain medication, you don't have to. If you don't want to have a certain operation, sometimes you get the option not to do it. Obviously most operations are life-saving and you should, but yeah, if you don't need to go under anaesthetic, then there's no point doing it for the sake of it, basically. But listen to the medical advice you're given. If you're going to see a doctor and you're spending that NHS money, then at least take on board what they're telling you. The next one is probably so underrated, but it's always smile. This was actually given to me by someone who's a lot older and wiser in the department, and you know, that's the kind of best advice. That's the advice that you want is someone who's got more life experience than you. And I think always smile is good because it releases good hormones just by smiling. It kind of helps you create a behaviour of just finding positive in things, not taking things too seriously, and as a result there's not as much strain on your body because like mind and body are linked, and I like that one. Next one is keep moving. Again, that could be like physically, or it could be like don't stay stagnant in something too long, like just keep, this person was very like boom, on to the next thing, what can I do now? So keep challenging yourself, I guess, keep always learning, keep moving physically. Yeah. The last one, and probably the best piece of advice, is have no babies and then you'll have less stress. And also don't worry about your health. So kind of just live without worrying constantly. I know that me being a hypochondriac has caused me a lot of health issues, and lots of things come from stress. So if I wasn't a hypochondriac or worrying about getting these things, I probably wouldn't get them. So yeah, I think that's an important one as well. So take from that what you will. I am not the doctor. I am not clinical in the slightest, but that is the best pieces of advices which has come from the best of the best. But it's interesting to see how these medical professionals in modern medicine are promoting all this kind of alternative health and holistic healing methods of how to live your life, and it's very much a preventative way of living and a lifestyle based thing. So basically, in conclusion, you should listen to my tips because I'm not full of crap, and the doctors agree with me. But thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna have some water. And yeah, if you're ever going through anything, there's a highlight on my Instagram dedicated to just positive quotes, words. If you want to add anything to it, DM it to me, say this is positive, whatever. I'll add it onto there and we can just encourage each other to have something like that on our Instagram. So anyone, stranger, friend, whatever, family member can go onto any Instagram, hopefully in the future, and there'll be something for them to look at that is positive on there. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are doing amazing, and I'm proud of you, basically. I'm proud of you for clicking on this video because it is health related, and whether you are not wanting to take anything away from this video, I'm still proud of you for clicking on it and learning more, and that's a really great, amazing step for you to do in taking care of yourself or taking care of someone else. So well done. But thank you so much for watching again. That's me. Bye.